Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time. Well, today is another way that you can make frugal fire starters. So if you saw my original video from last year, right up here, I show you how to make them using dryer lint. Now, it takes me a very long time to build up enough dryer lint to keep making plenty of these because I hang my clothes year-round on clotheslines. There's just a few times the dryer gets used, and so that's when I save up the dryer lint like gold. But here's another option that you can use, and I haven't done it this way before, but I figure since I was thinking about it the other day, it's like, I need to make some more of these. I don't have any dryer lint, and I was like, oh yeah, there's sawdust out in Pat's shop. There's always tons of sawdust. So, and I know people have done it this way before, and I figured since I gotta make these anyway, I might as well just make a video. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is in my, the last video I did about some, you know, my July this and that, and talking about my garage sale finds, I was talking about some of the candles. Now, this was actually one of the nicer looking ones that had the blotchy look to it. Perfectly good, never used candle. I think I paid 25 cents for it. Well, I have lots and lots of pillar candles for light, so these kind of uglier looking ones, or you know, sort of messed up ones, are the ones that I'm going to be melting down for using to make fire starters. So you can find candles for really cheap of all kinds, tapered, you know, the short kinds that have never been used, and you can get a really good deal on them, and that's the option that you want to use for this. So I'm just going to throw the whole candle in there. I already took the label off the bottom. Sometimes you can get a hold of the wick and pull it out, like right there. And then just, now I got a big lump of wax. I'm going to put it in my little candle melting thing that I always just throw wax pieces in. If you look in there, just pieces from other candles that have burned and kind of melted over, and I just break them off and save them. I don't throw that stuff out. So I'm going to put this on my hot plate that's hooked up to our solar power, and I'm going to melt this down, and when I'm ready, I'll show you how I'm going to, what the next step is. Alright, so I already started filling this one, as you can see. And I had the sawdust really full, and I still want to put a little more wax in there, but I thought I'd go get some more and try putting a little bit less and see. I knew I had that super full, but I wanted to go ahead and try it. And pretty much the result is what I guessed. Like I said, this is my first time doing it this way. I just wasn't sure how absorbent the sawdust would be. I know the lint is very absorbent, and I have to keep pouring more and more wax in there. So I'm thinking filling the cups not quite so full is going to be the better choice. Already, this is turning out better. So don't you just love how, you know, some of these videos I just go ahead and experiment on camera? So you can, you know, the good thing about that is you can see how not to do it. Okay, this is working out much better. So filling it not quite so full, I'd say about 3/4 of the way full. And then putting that divot in was a good idea into the sawdust. This is probably going to need to still absorb down in there. Now I'm going to see if I can, and unfortunately the wax is not actually going down inside the sawdust like it does with the lint. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix this, stir this in. Yep, that's kind of what I thought. So you're going to be better. I'm sure there's a better way to do it, like mixing the sawdust and the wax together in the melting pot. So next time I try it, in fact I might go get some more sawdust, put it in there, and then melt it together. See, I was trying to do this the same way I do it with the lint. And it's not working quite so well, but this stirring it in is certainly helping. Let me take the rest of this wax and finish melting it. I'm going to go ahead and add, I'm going to take this stuff out and put it into the melting pot and then try that and see if that works better. Alright, so I'm getting ready to do my second attempt and try a different method. Now this one worked okay, where I didn't fill the sawdust quite so full, put the divot in, poured the wax in, then mixed it in with a chopstick is what I did here. But it was just a little bit more complicated doing it this way, but when I do it with the lint, it just pours in there, and you just keep adding it. But this just wanted to sit on top instead of going down into the sawdust, which is what I was afraid it might do because the sawdust is so fine. But I thought I'd give it a try. So now what I'm doing is I'm mixing the sawdust. I'm making another batch, and I've got another egg carton here, and I always try to use, this one actually looks pretty neat, but I always try to look for the yuckiest ones I have on hand. I have another candle this was one of the worst looking ones for the blotchiness there. And I'm going to melt this down to mix the sawdust in with it in the melting pot. This wick isn't going to pull right out like the other one, so I'll just take it out when I'm ready to, once it's melted down, I'll just pull it out of the solution. Now this wick is brand new. I mean, this is perfectly usable, so I'm going to save it and put it with the rest of my wicks for when I make my own candles for burning. So anyway, I'll be back when this is ready to put in there, and we'll see how that works. Now that I have the wax melted down and all the sawdust all mixed in there well, I'm just going to try pushing it into the cups this way. And this is definitely much easier. I guess I shouldn't say much easier. The other way wasn't hard doing it this way, where I filled the cups part way full of the sawdust and then poured the wax on top and then mixed it with the chopstick. However, this is going to give a more even consistency here. So if you want it more runny than that, you'll want to mix a little bit more wax. But I'm thinking I'm kind of liking this mixture right here like it is. And I suppose it's really not a whole lot more work than the other way, or even using the dryer lint method. That seems like a pretty good mixture of wax to sawdust. So I'm kind of anxious to try these to see as far as burn time and how easy they are to light and all that kind of stuff. If they'll work better, the same, not as good as the dryer lint method, because this, I know that sawdust is something I'll always have on hand, where dryer lint I don't. But it's always just about trying to make the most out of what you have. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to allow these to cool, and when they're ready, I'm going to go ahead and tear or cut each one apart, and I'll show you what they look like when they're all set. Alright, so now here's the third attempt, or second, however you want to see it. So we're going to try burning all three kinds. So you can see, you can just break these. You can use scissors and cut them a little neater. One thing I found, I used to like to rip all these little guys off, but, you know, just to make a neater looking thing. But I found these make good corners for, like here, for lighting. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to test these. I'm going to stick each one into the rocket stove, if they'll fit. I don't know. We'll try these two. I don't think I can do all three. So this is my original kind with the lint, the dryer lint, and then the wax poured over it. And without, it does work really good to do it that way, because it will just soak right in there. You can see it soaked into the cup itself. And, well, and it did here with this one that I packed in there. So I'm going to light each one, and we'll see how well they burn as far as burn time and all that. If I can get it to light. Where's our other lighter? Let's see. Okay. So I'm gonna watch these things and watch the time. What's the time say?
It is 14:40.
Okay, so it's 2:40, and we'll watch the burn time on this. You see, it's got a real, they make a real nice flame. They're just burning excellent. So my main goal is to see how long will they burn, but they're definitely wonderful for starting fires. Look at that flame coming out the top. Woo. And by the way, you can find a link to the StoveTech rocket stove that I'm using. We've had this for several years now. Made right here in the US, I believe in Oregon. So, great little stove. Just love it. Very efficient. Alright, I'll come back when we have a consensus on the time. I'm guessing it'll probably be about the same, but we'll see. Alright, it's been 20 minutes and these are just now getting down to where they're just smoldering. I checked them at 10 minutes and they were only about halfway done. I burnt halfway through and they were still both flaming pretty good. Now this one here was the lint one and it still has more of it left. However, it's not smoldering so much like this one still is. Now if I had already put some wood or whatever on there, it would continue to keep burning and catch everything around it on fire, but I was actually surprised at the burn time. It was the first time I ever timed it. So it does look to me, I would say the wood shavings are probably the best way to go if you have those on hand. Dryer lint's a good idea if you have a lot of that. Again, I think the burn time's pretty equal. However, with the wood shavings, one thing that occurred to me is you're going to get a much cleaner burn than you are out of lint, because unless you've got complete, well, even if you've got all organic cotton and all that kind of stuff burning in there, it's still going to have a funny smell to it. So just something to keep in mind, but either is going to work great for you. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. Thanks for watching. Take care and God bless.